Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us. My name is Ricardo, and I am a YouTube recruiter at Google. Today we'll spend about 15 minutes talking about best practices for crafting your resume.
And I'm Lauren, and I'm a recruiter at Google. We're really excited to be chatting with you today. Before we get started, we want to acknowledge that folks might be dealing with the current national and global challenges in different ways. So we encourage you to honor where you are and show up in whatever way works best for you.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Lauren. So let's dive right into our topic today. When applying for a role at Google or any company, one of the most important things you'll need to do is submit a well-crafted resume. Since this will likely be the very first impression you'll be making with recruiters or hiring managers, you'll want it to showcase why you are uniquely qualified for the role that you're applying for.
When we think about the structure of a well-crafted resume, we often break it down into 4 to 5 parts. Part 1 will be your eligibility for the role which you're applying to. In other words, your education. Part 2 will be your role-related experience. That can be showcased through your technical skills, especially programming languages, or your work experience. Part 3 is going to be your projects, whether that be class or personal projects. This is a great section to show us your passion for the things that you've been working on. Part 4 will be your extracurricular involvement and your impact. This can be showcased through your leadership roles, different student organizations, publications, competitions, or hackathons. Part 5 will be your honors or awards or your scholarships. And lastly, you'll want to include any additional information that's crucial to making you, you. And don't forget to include your contact information at the top of your resume. If you don't have all the things that we listed, don't panic. We know that everyone is at a different point in their academic and professional journey, and we'll give you tips today that can help highlight the best of your experiences overall.
So now we're going to briefly go through each section we just covered to give you a good idea of what recruiters look for when reviewing your resume, starting with the intro and education sections. So as Lauren mentioned, make sure to have your contact information at the top of your resume. It should include your name, phone number, email address, LinkedIn profile URL, and a personal website if you have one. In your education section, make sure to include all post-secondary institutions you've attended. For each of them, include the school name, location, and anticipated degree and date of graduation, including graduation month, so we can assess your eligibility. You should also include your GPA and any relevant coursework here. Now, there's no need to include all of the courses that you've taken, but please feel free to add any that you feel are important or relevant to the role that you're applying for. And for those applying for technical positions, this is also the section where you should list all of your technical skills. This will show recruiters that you have the technical skills necessary to qualify for the job. Please make sure to list these and any skills in order from most proficient to least proficient, since that's how your recruiter or hiring manager will read them.
Exactly. The next section that we'll go over is your experience section. This will most likely be the most expansive section of your resume, as this is where you'll have the opportunity to showcase your achievements and explain how they uniquely qualify you for the job. Make sure to start every bullet point here with an action verb like designed, implemented, or created. One of the most important things about describing your experience is to focus on your achievements rather than just copying and pasting the role's job description into your resume. We want to know what you accomplished in the role rather than what you were expected to do. A great way to demonstrate that impact that you've had is by using this formula. Accomplished X as measured by Y by doing Z. If you're on the technical side of things, you could showcase your impact as a software engineering intern by sharing that you deployed a new in-house account reconciliation system using Python and improved latency by 12% by designing and implementing a new framework. Don't forget to include and perhaps even list in bold the programming languages that you use to complete the project. For non-technical students, say you worked as a digital marketing intern and helped out small business owners with their online advertisements. You could showcase your impact by stating that you increased online sales by 20% through the creation and management of 3 paid media campaigns, which resulted in doubling the company's revenue in the second quarter. I know that was a lot of information, so let's do a quick practice round. Behind me, you'll see an experience section. It reads, Company Inc., Seattle, Washington, intern, 2019. The first bullet point reads, worked with another intern to create a speech classifier. The second bullet point reads, we worked through the entire development process to launch stage. And the last bullet point reads, language, Java. What changes would you make? We'll pause for a few seconds while you think that through. Ricardo, while everyone's thinking that through, what do you think we should make as some changes?
Yeah, so I would personally definitely include my official title and the time frame that I worked there at the top. For the first bullet point, I would include the impact of my work and highlight the results of creating the classifier app. And for the second bullet point, I would go a little more into detail about what specific actions I took, as well as highlighting the programming language that I used, all within the same action, so I can save some space and make a section clearer. An example would look like this. I would have Company Inc., Seattle, Washington at the top, and then I would have my title, Software Engineering Intern at the bottom, italicized. On the right side, I'd have the time frame June to August 2019. My first bullet point would be worked with another intern to upgrade a speech language classifier app using Python, resulting in 95% accuracy and 12% improvement over the old process. And then my second bullet point would read completed entire development process for app, including writing design docs, implementation of front-end tool using Java, going through design reviews, and launching internally.
That sounds amazing. I really like how you included the quantifiable metrics because it will help paint a clearer picture and allow the reader of your resume to truly visualize your impact. Some useful quantifiable metrics are numbers and percentages. I also really enjoyed how you have the coding language utilized in bold.
Yeah, I think this is a great example to show someone's impact in a work experience section. The formula accomplished X as measured by Y by doing Z can also be used to show your impact in the next section of your resume, which can highlight your extracurricular involvement and examples of leadership. For example, for a role as VP of External Affairs of your university's Black Student Alliance or Society of Women Engineers chapter, you could highlight that you secured more than $10,000 from corporate sponsors through email outreach and alumni networking events, which allow the chapter to host over 25 events in the school year and cover all costs for 15 members to attend the national conference. Another example to show your impact could be that as a mentor for a student or community organization, you organized and led 1-hour weekly sessions with 10 middle school age students that focus on exposure to STEM through robotics and online coding games. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but providing this level of detail will help paint a picture of your work's impact to the recruiter reading your resume.
Yeah, exactly. Those were all really impressive impact metrics to highlight on your resume. I do have a question for you though, Ricardo. What should you do if you're, say, earlier on in your academic career and maybe don't have a lot of work experience, or maybe your work experience isn't relevant to the job that you're applying for?
Yeah, that's a great question, one that I get pretty often actually. So earlier on in your education, it's fine to list work experiences that may not be the most relevant. Not only will it show that you've gained skills through working various jobs, personal projects, or class projects, but it can also focus on highlighting any transferable skills you've gained. Naturally, as you gain more experience in the field you're applying for, you'll want to make sure that your resume reflects this growth. In addition, you'll want to make sure to include any required materials indicated in the job description. For example, if you're applying for a user experience design role at Google, you'd want to include a link to your portfolio so recruiters and hiring managers can see examples of your work. If you're interested in a research position at Google, it'd be great to include a section for your publications.
This might not be a session on imposter syndrome, but it's important to call out that Google is excited to hear about all of your experiences. So don't stop yourself from sharing by thinking, maybe there are more impressive people applying, but is this work experience good enough? Have confidence in your experiences and don't let the overthinking stop you from highlighting your great work.
Yes, Lauren, that is a really good point. You all want to be proud of all your achievements and accomplishments because at the end of the day, that's what makes you you. So highlighting all of your experiences will showcase to employers your background, interests, and skills that you might bring into your internship or full-time role at the company.
I agree. It's great to tailor your resume to the specific role you're applying for. Speaking of super impressive accomplishments, you can always add a final section to your resume, which could include your honors, your awards, your scholarships that you're most proud of or that are the most relevant. Don't worry if you don't have this section on your resume. Personally, I don't have this section on mine, but if you are listing your honors and awards, please let us know the selectivity if possible. For example, if you were a top 10 finisher at a sales pitch competition, let us know how many other people were competing. You could write top 10 finisher, number 6 out of 100 university students at a national sales competition.
Absolutely. So to recap, you'll want to include the following sections that are applicable to you to ensure that recruiters have everything they need to know to assess your resume. Contact information, education, work or role-related experience, extracurricular involvement and impact, and honors and awards.
It's also great to remember these tips. Share your resume using a PDF format, as some formats may not be accessible to a recruiter. Use clean, simple, and consistent bullet points. Highlight relevant coursework like a data structures and algorithms course or a marketing class. Remember, action words plus metrics equals results plus impact. You'll want to start each bullet point with an action verb like improved or produced, and include your metrics to highlight the impact you had in each experience on your resume. Using hyperlinks will allow your recruiter to easily access your profile or your body of work. And lastly, we also get a lot of questions around the length of your resume. How many pages should it actually be? We recommend you try to keep your resume to 1 page unless you're a PhD student. Then you can lengthen it a bit with your research experience and your publications.
All right, Lauren, so we've covered a lot today. We hope you all have gained insights into how to structure your resume and how to showcase your impact. For more helpful resources and videos, keep checking the Google Careers OnAir site located here.
And don't forget to visit google.com/students to explore our open jobs and apply to join us. You can also set up a job alert in case the role that you're interested in isn't open yet. And this will allow you to receive an email when the job you're interested in is posted on our careers website.
Thanks again for joining us, and we hope to see your application soon.
Good luck and take care.